In this video, we will discuss the essay The Polycrisis by Ville Lahde. Occasionally, words undergo an explosive surge in usage. It's quite certain that before 2022, the term polycrisis had not even crossed your awareness. However, nowadays, it's highly probable that you have come across this term. If you are involved in matters related to the environment, economy, or security, chances are high that you have encountered this word. You might even be feeling exasperated by its sudden ubiquity. Initially, hardly anyone discussed a polycrisis, and now it seems like everyone is discussing it. The term polycrisis gained prominence during significant events like the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP27 in Sharm el Sheikh in November 2022 and the subsequent Davos gathering in January. The year 2023 commenced with the World Economic Forum incorporating this term into its Global Risks report. The report emphasized how a convergence of simultaneous shocks, interconnected risks, and diminishing resilience is giving rise to the potential for polycrisis. This report delves into the intricate connections between geopolitical, environmental, and socio-political risks. In October 2022, Tuesday inaugurated his monthly column in the Financial Times with the title Embracing the Realm of Polycrisis. He wrote, "A problem becomes a crisis when it challenges our ability to cope and thus threatens our identity. In the polycrisis, the shocks are disparate, but they interact so that the whole is even more overwhelming than the sum of the parts. At times, one feels as if one is losing one's sense of reality." In the discussion paper, What is a Global Polycrisis? From the Cascade Institute, Jans Wood and Homer Dixon locates the origins of polycrisis in the book Homeland Earth, a Manifesto for the New Millennium by Edgar Morin and Anne Bridget Kern. They trace its history of use in studies of sustainable transition and studies in the European Union. The term polycrisis has transitioned from relative obscurity to widespread popularity. Yet, it's essential to recognize that its meanings have divergent paths. There exists a polycrisis and the polycrisis. On one hand, individuals are striving to establish a precise operational definition of a polycrisis, outlining its fundamental nature. This effort aims to reshape a research framework capable of scrutinizing a diverse array of interconnected events. Within this context, multiple polycrises can emerge. For instance, the amalgamation of the financial and food system crisis during 2008-9 or the convergence of the COVID-19 pandemic, a hunger crisis, and the Russian invasion of Ukraine in more recent times. On the other hand, polycrisis assumes a role beyond a generic term and transforms into a distinctive term, signifying a particular phase of global history. Only one polycrisis exists. This epoch in history, where humanity has woven an unparalleled web of interconnections and dependencies, juxtaposing immense material abundance with stark inequality, all while teetering on the edge of ecological collapse. This represents an entirely unprecedented chapter in human history, diverging from anything documented in our species' past. The term polycrisis is not merely a common noun, it functions as a proper noun, designating a specific phase in world history. Singular in nature, it refers to an epoch characterized by unparalleled global interconnectedness and interdependence. This epoch combines extensive material affluence with profound inequality, all precariously poised on the brink of ecological collapse. It marks a truly unprecedented chapter distinct from any previous historical records of our species. The term polycrisis has given rise to a conceptual divergence, splitting into a polycrisis and the polycrisis, leading to diverse definitions of various purposes. If we interpret the polycrisis as a depiction of our distinct era marked by existential challenges, our agreement or disagreement with its specifics can vary. However, perceiving the polycrisis as a technical concept to analyze specific concatenations of events introduces a different dimension. Some of these events may bear significant environmental aspects, while others might not. When employed as a broad research concept spanning national, regional, and global levels, as well as various time frames, the question arises whether it truly captures novelty or contributes substantially to analytical tools. This practical query can only be answered through hands on experience. Christopher Hobson perceives polycrisis as an accumulation of unresolved crises characterized by obscured outcomes and withheld clear resolutions. Additionally, temporary remedies might have momentarily postponed consequences but amplified the magnitude of ongoing challenges. According to Toussaint, the concept of polycrisis challenges traditional notions of fundamental political struggles and underlying tensions beneath surface level issues. Recognizing that human societies throughout history have encountered varied environmental problems is essential for comprehending how to coexist with the non human world. This does not negate the argument that the post fossil fuel revolution and the spread of global capitalism, known as the Great Acceleration, have pushed global ecological systems to their limits and engendered substantial inequality in exchanges. Yet there is no single root cause for the entirety of environmental issues, and a unified solution remains elusive. Throughout history, we have needed a diverse toolkit to fathom these complexities, and the era of polycrisis underscores the significance of this approach. It is conceivable that a successful energy transformation could occur relying on biomass and carbon capture, but exacerbating biodiversity decline. Simultaneously, the failure to address poverty, hunger, and inequality in less affluent regions might render sustainable food systems and ecosystem preservation unattainable. Even powering such transformations with fossil fuels would prove detrimental. The concept of polycrisis compels us to confront the coexistence of rapid, for example, pandemic war, and gradual, for example, climate change and biodiversity decline crises. It demands that we navigate these varying temporalities simultaneously, balancing existence and action across multiple timescales. Truly acknowledging the complexity of our challenges becomes a paramount task in the face of the polycrisis. Relying solely on addressing acute crises while anticipating the return of normal times to handle the slower developing crises is a recipe for disaster. The significance of the in polycrisis is profound as our historical circumstances are genuinely unprecedented. The ability to draw lessons from history diminishes due to the unprecedented convergence of social, political, economic, and ecological factors. While resource extraction and consumption rise, the ecological systems enabling this are deteriorating. Established linear development models are being fundamentally questioned on a material level. Altering the current trajectories of resource utilization risks either fracturing societal cohesion or inciting new conflicts. This is evident when fossil fuel powerhouses lose their dominance or when reducing consumption intensifies inequalities within and between nations. Equally crucial is the poly in polycrisis. We face not just a collection of isolated problems, but a radical challenge that threatens the intricate network of systems upholding existing societies. Mitigating the dire implications of climate change necessitates transforming pivotal systems such as energy, transportation, housing, food, and industry. This transformation mandates an unparalleled level of social coordination to prevent conflicting demands on limited resources. However, these changes must be implemented in a way that preserves other essential ecological functions. The ecological transition's success on the climate front may falter in other crucial aspects. While the long term outcome of navigating through the polycrisis benefits everyone, in the short term, benefits and costs are unevenly distributed. Politics becomes inescapable. In the era of the polycrisis, environmental politics becomes intricately intertwined with matters of justice, equality, security, and power.